Hello everyone, to my new Let's Look At. Today we're going to be looking at Eagle Flight. For those who've never heard of this game, essentially it's you being an eagle and flying around an abandoned Paris, France. As you can see, there's different modes of what you can play, story, free roam. Today we're going to be doing a little bit of free roam, and then I'll be showing you a story mission, so to speak. I haven't played this in about a week or two, so I'm a little rusty. But I really enjoy this game. It is fun. I've always had a dream of being able to fly, not on a plane, before you get all smart aleck on me. But I've always dreamed that I wish I could fly, and while this is not the perfect, game to do that, and if you're wondering why I got hit there, I think I hit a branch in a tree. That's what happens when you crash. You go to a black screen saying you crashed. There's no violent animal reactions. At least I don't think so. I haven't followed the story very far yet. And it can be kind of hard to get used to. Especially flying straight up. Flying straight up is rather difficult. I don't know what happened there. I think they put me right in front of something, and then the screen was still black, and I just ran into something else. Thankfully, most of the time, that's not an issue, because they start you out way above the city. Especially if you're near the Eiffel Tower, then they start you up way up there. But I usually get my air feet pretty quickly. We'll see how long it takes me to get back used to it. But the free roam is really the game's selling point to me. I love just being able to fly around, personally. Story mode is pretty good. I've only played the first 3 missions so far. But it tells the story of you as a young, I don't remember if it was an eagle or it was a young bird. Beginnings where you poke out of the egg and you're learning how to survive. It's a simple story, but a somewhat effective one, at least so far. There are collectibles you can find around the city, namely feathers, I believe, so it's supposed to signify that, right into a branch. It's supposed to signify that you're building a nest. I think it's the reason they give why you're collecting all these feathers. I don't think birds make nests out of feathers. I might have forgotten. Like I said, it's been about a week, but I know you have to collect feathers. You can collect fish, as you saw earlier, because the fish jump out of the sea and makes that little noise and collars, and I don't know what that does. I never really said anything about that yet. But it gets progressively more difficult the more you want to go speedster through the lower streets. Now the controls are kind of weird to get used to, because you don't really use the controller at all. To turn, you can kind of turn by looking, but it's a very, very slow turn. If you want to make a breakneck turn, you've got to tilt your head one way or the other. The further you tilt it, the faster you turn. And R2 speeds up, which is pretty much this whole time I'm holding R2. L2 slows down. And that's, I think, just about the extent of the controls to my knowledge. Rest of it is up to you on how do you want to best use these things. Now in multiplayer, and there is a multiplayer, in multiplayer there is a button where you can, I think, emit like a piercing, I don't know what you want to call it, piercing call or something like that. You can shoot people down. Some people think that's kind of silly. I don't really care because I don't play multiplayer, but I can see why they did it. Make it kind of like a dogfight simulation, except with, birds. But I think it's mainly like a racing thing, like how fast can you go, and you can screw other people over. I can't believe I'm doing this while talking, but you can kind of, make you screw people over if you can get in range to take them down. And it's just, I've never played it. I've watched videos on it. It looks fun, but I'm not going to tell you it's fun because I don't like it. Now, one thing I don't like about Eagle's Flight, if you notice there when I turn, the outside, like my peripheral vision just kind of narrows. Yeah, like that. You notice that? I don't like that. I understand why they did it. It does lower the motion sickness quite a bit. To be fair, I'm in the party of make it an option, right? Let me decide what's best for my stomach. Don't just decide all people get stomach problems playing VR. Therefore, we have to put on the training wheels for everybody. I mean, like, a game that I really liked the way they handled it was Windlands. There's like 3 or 4 different comfort options in that. You can choose whatever you want. This one's just kind of shoved down your throat. You're getting this with you. I hit the fan blade. Of all things, I hit the fan blade. But you get what I'm saying here. I like choice. I don't like just someone saying some people get motion sickness, so you can't. Nobody can have anything. That's one big thing I don't like about it. That's just me, though. But it is a pretty big negative as far as I'm concerned. As far as the gameplay goes, though, I like this game. It's not a game I play every day, but it is a game where I feel like, you know what, I want to feel like I can fly. I come back to this, and until they come up with a better alternative, I'll keep coming back to this. I will warn, though, I guess you can kind of feel motion sickness if you just go wild. Excuse me there, I had to cough. If you go wild, I guess you could feel motion sickness, but they've done a pretty good job to limit that because of the peripheral vision thing going on. It's kind of like rigs, mechanized combat. If you don't turn off the, I don't know what that's called, but there's an option in that. But this is basically where it's default. You can't turn it off, unlike rigs. But as you might have guessed, you're not supposed to take, go in the middle of the city holding down R2, kind of like I'm doing right here. It makes it extraordinarily difficult not to run into anything, but what's the point of making a video if you're not going to try and show off a little bit, am I right? By the way, the soundtrack, it's not my favorite kind of thing. I know why they went for it. It's kind of like I don't want to say like nature or natural soundtrack, but it fits in pretty well. It's serene to a degree. As far as the graphics go, I love the way the graphics go. It's not the best, but I mean, VR, you're gonna have to make some graphical concessions, at least for this generation. I look forward to the day when graphics in VR are almost as good as flat screen, but that's not going to be for probably a decade or two off. But I look forward to that day, make no mistake. But for what it is, it's no Drive Club VR, and by that I mean it's not, like, if I'm sure you've heard the news if you follow virtual reality whatsoever. Drive Club VR is, inside the cars look nice, but everything else kind of looks really bad. And I have the game, I can say without a doubt that is correct. But this looks quite a bit better, in my opinion, than that does. And this is the... Oh, gosh. I don't know if I can do this. I probably... no, I should have turned. I was looking. I wasn't tilting my head. I think if I tilted my head there, maybe I could have kept going straight up. But it's difficult to go straight up. Unless I forgot a part of the training, which I may well have. But I think we're almost done with the free roam. I just love flying around is why I'm doing this, but after I get a few more stunts out of my system, we'll be going back to the nest. The nest area is where you can go back to the main menu. It's pretty seamless all in all. I like the way they handled it. I kind of wish you could just hit start and then you just go back to it, but I see why they didn't do that. But that icon up there, if you saw it above to the right, that's the nesting area. Yeah, right there. And you just go back there and you can start going back to the multiplayer or whatever. Basically where we first came into the video, that's where it takes you back to. So let's get over there and we'll go through the story, one story mission. Now the story missions, it's not like you go and pick a mission and you just go there. It's more like, I don't want to say Assassin's Creed. It's open world to a degree, to the point where you almost don't even really want to go to free flight mode, because you can do that anyway in story mode. I was just showing you the options there, what you can do. There's no comfort options. So let's get into story mode here. So basically, I mean, there's no point going in free mode unless you just want no accidental, whoops, I started a mission, which I guess you could do. So the missions, like you go to, I can't remember the color code because I didn't play it in a week or two, but we're going to be going to the one I haven't done yet, the green one, which is usually where you want to go next. And they unlock, once you get a certain amount of stars, they unlock the other missions. So what's this one's, pray tell, we're going to be doing here?
The district's tunnels warrant exploration. The wind feels good, rushing through your feathers. How quickly can you fly through?
Okay, so we're doing like a how fast can you go kind of thing. My kind of thing here. L2. We ain't gonna be using no L2 here. We're going the fast route. I think this is basically the tutorial of, if you saw those little wind things, they make you go faster. Normally in the outer world, they're very difficult to go through like this. Except in this one, it seems to be a bit more precise. But I seem to be doing rather okay here, so I guess that's a good. I'm just trying to take the straight route where I can and trying to make a mad dash toward the jet vortexes or whatever they call them. I don't know what they are. I'm no scientist. I don't know what in the world those things are. I don't think those things exist in the real world, but, you know, I ain't got a good God. I am not going to argue with it. This is extraordinarily difficult while trying to talk. I'm just going to tell you right now. But, oh God, which way am I going? I guess it's just a straight tunnel anyway. I guess I'll go middle because I'm not going to try and go through the fan blades. I had a bad thing with it before. Lest we forget when I crashed, and that was a hell of a thing. I guess I'll try and go up here because I couldn't see any other way. That didn't seem like it'd take a hell of a lot more time. And that's it. Okay, how'd I do? I think I did pretty well. I didn't hit the brakes once, and I don't know what that number 1 thing means, but I'm going to take that as yeah. That was sweet. I don't think that's the world. I would be very surprised if that's the world. I think that's just like people in my division because I'm new, but still I'm proud of that. I didn't crash. I did pretty well there. But you've seen enough of Eagle's Flight to make your own decision of, does this look like it'd be fun to play for you? I can't answer that. If you like collecting things, running time trials, having a nice little story to go along with it, and feeling like you're flying, your stomach can kind of lift, then this is a fun game. I'm 3 stars away from unlocking that mission, so I know what I probably should do, but I'm not going to go through another story mission here, so I guess I'll leave it here for you guys. And thank you very much for watching. And as always, if you'd like to help support this channel, you may wish to like or even subscribe. Thank you very much, everyone, and hopefully I shall see you next time. Farewell until then.